Okay, perfect. So everything is working. Hello, everyone. It is not Friday, but I'm doing a live because time is of the essence here. I wanted to come on and talk to you about the fact that your federal benefits open season is getting ready to end. It closes out at 1 minute to midnight on Monday, December 12th. So if you are planning to make changes to your federal insurances, it is really important that you spend the next couple of days doing your research and push that button so that you can make the changes. Some of our federal insurances participate in the annual open season, not all of them do. The Federal Employees Health Benefits, or the health insurance, does, so I'm going to talk about that. The Federal Employees Group Life Insurance does not participate in the annual open season. You can only make changes if there is an open season. Those are very rare. The last one was in 2008. But you can make changes to the life insurance if you have a qualifying life event. So I am going to talk just very, very briefly about that. That doesn't end on Monday, but you are limited to being able to make changes for those qualifying life events. So I want you to know what they are. Your federal employees dental and vision insurance program does participate in the annual open season, so you have until Monday to make changes with that. The federal long-term care insurance program does not participate in the annual open season, but I wanted to bring that up today. If you haven't been tracking, the Office of Personnel Management is suspending applications for the federal long-term care insurance effective December 19th. So if that is something that you've been interested in, you wanted to check out, you want to apply for, then time is really going to be of the essence for that as well. It doesn't close out on the 12th, but it is going to close out on the 19th, and it's going to be closed likely for a couple of years. So I did want to mention that. Our flexible spending accounts do participate in the annual open season, so this is the time of the year to make changes for those as well. The health savings account is different than a flexible spending account. I did a video on that a little while ago, so you can scroll down if you're on Facebook and you can find the video there, or if you're on the YouTube channel, you can simply do a search for flexible spending accounts, health savings accounts, and educate yourself on that. Those health savings accounts are only for people that have a high deductible health insurance plan. So while they don't participate in the open season, if you want to get one and you don't currently have a high deductible health insurance plan, then you would make the change to move towards that high deductible plan during the health insurance open season, and that would give you the opportunity to have this health savings account if that's something that you're interested in doing. So I'm Debbie Hatch, the owner and CEO of Pinnacle Personnel Services, and I help federal employees understand their retirement, their insurances, all of their federal benefits. So the first thing that I did want to talk about is the Federal Employees Health Benefits, or FEHB. During this open season, once again, closing out on Monday, you can enroll for the very first time if you're not enrolled right now. You can cancel your enrollment during the open season if that's what you would like to do. As far as the enrollment goes, please remember that in order to carry the health insurance into retirement with you, you do have to be covered under a federal plan for the last 5 years that you're working. Those last 5 years just prior to retirement, you have to be covered under a plan. It doesn't have to be the very same one. It can be any combination of plans, but you need to have something in place for the last 5 years if you want to keep this in retirement. I will mention that we are seeing a very large premium increase on average for the health insurance going into January. Not every plan is increasing, and those that are increasing aren't all increasing at the same rate. But on average, we are seeing enrollees' premiums increase by 8.7% in this coming year. as I said, they're not all increasing that much, and they're not even all increasing. Some of them, in fact, very few, but are decreasing in cost. So this might be a very good time for you to look at the plans available. We've got 271 different insurance plans, and while we only have single digits of employees actually change plans every year, this might be a year that you want to do that. So you can, at the end of the presentation, I'm going to show you the website for OPM, the Office of Personnel Management, where you can actually go out and do a comparison for yourself. Make sure that you're not just looking at price. You do want to ensure that the insurance that you're signing up for is also going to provide the benefits that you're looking for, allow you to be able to see the doctors that you want to be able to see and everything else, but by shopping around, by using the comparison tool, you may very well be able to save yourself thousands of dollars in this coming year switching plans. Another thing that you can do during the open enrollment period is change who you're covering. So for FEHB, we have a self-only option, a self plus one, or a self and family. For the self plus one or the self and family, you are covering yourself plus one or more qualified family members. This could be a spouse, it can be a child, and you can cover your child on your health insurance up to their 26th birthday. A lot of people assume that the self plus one is going to be cheaper than the self and family, since the self and family covers any number of qualified family members. But I will tell you that there are about 80 plans this year where self and family is actually a little bit cheaper than self plus one. So don't just assume if it is you plus one child or you plus your spouse that self and one is going to be the best way for you to go. You might be able to save some money by looking at the self and family plan. So I do want to mention that. There are, like I said, 271 different plans out there. So one of the things that you can do during the open season is change plans. And you can do that every single year if you would like to do so. So enroll, cancel, change who you're covering, change what plan that you're having. The Federal Employees Health Benefits is a very, very tremendous benefit that you have as a federal employee. The federal government covers 72% of the weighted average cost of those 271 different plans that are out there. So I wanted you to be aware of that. If you're not already, you can see on the slide the maximum amount, because it's 72% of the weighted average, not to exceed 75% of any particular plan. You can see the maximum amount that the government will pay towards your health insurance in 2023. Federal Employees Life Insurance, or FEGLI, doesn't participate in the annual open season. In order to make changes to your life insurance, there has to be a qualifying life event. So you can see a list here. You get married, you get divorced, you have a child, your spouse passes away. Something like that is considered to be a QLE that will allow you to make changes to your life insurance. This life insurance, just like the health insurance, does have to be in place the 5 years preceding retirement if you would like to keep this in retirement. One thing that I'll mention, a lot of people don't know, since October of 2010, as long as it's been a year or longer since you opted out of the Federal Employees Group Life Insurance, you can have a physical. Take a form to your doctor, you have your doctor fill that out, and if you don't have any issues in that physical, it's been a year or longer since you turned the insurance down, that's a qualifying life event. That would allow you to enroll in the basic life insurance, and then once you get the basic life insurance, you would have 60 days to decide to sign up for the optional insurances if that is something that you would like to do. We've got 3 potential options, with A, adding an additional $10,000, Option B, allowing you to elect a multiple of 1 through 5 times your annual salary. And we have option C, which allows you to pick up a little bit of life insurance on your spouse or your children up to the age of 22 here. The dental and vision insurance programs do participate in the annual open season. So until Monday, you can cancel, you can enroll, you can change who you're covering, you can change plans for your dental and vision insurance. Here, there is a self only, a self plus one, and a self and family, just like we saw with the health insurance, but the children come off the dental plans at 22. They can stay on the health insurance plans until they're 26. Because we have so many different plans, if your child is aging out of dental or vision, you might want to look at some of the health insurance plans that offer some dental and vision services. There are a few of them that have dental and vision riders, so that might be something that you're wanting to look at prior to Monday's end of this open season. For the dental and vision insurance, it does require that you are eligible to have the federal employees health benefits. It does not require that you have the health benefits. Dental and vision is completely separate from the health insurance. The eligibility criteria is the same, but they are separate insurances. And while the federal government does pay towards the health insurance, they don't pay towards the dental or vision insurance. This is 100% out of the enrollee's pocket. Because that's true, dental and vision insurance don't require 5 years of enrollment prior to retirement, as we saw with the health insurance and as we saw with the life insurance. It's not required for dental or vision. The flexible spending accounts do participate in the annual open season. It is only during open season or a qualifying life event that you can sign up to do flexible spending. We have 3. There's a healthcare flexible spending account, a limited expense healthcare flexible spending account, and a dependent care flexible spending account. The difference between them is the maximum amount that you can contribute and what is considered to be a qualified reimbursable expense. I don't want to go too deep down that rabbit hole today because, again, I've already done a video talking about what a flexible spending account is and comparing that to a health savings account. But if you do want to sign up for flexible spending, this is the time to do it. You have only until Monday. For the healthcare and the limited expense healthcare accounts, you will be allowed to contribute up to a maximum of $3,050 for next year. You don't have to do the maximum. The minimum's $100. You can do anything in between those two extremes, whatever you would like to do. And that money is going to be coming out of your paycheck in equal installments through this coming year. It comes out before you pay any taxes. And then you're reimbursed through this year, now paying for things on a pre-tax basis instead of having it paid on a post-tax basis. That's how they're saving you some money. Okay, $3,050 maximum for the healthcare and the limited expense healthcare flexible spending account. Still a cap of $5,000 for the dependent care account. It's been capped at that for a number of years, and that is not changing as we go into 2023. The healthcare and the limited expense healthcare allow employees who enroll again next year. So these require an annual re-enrollment. If you enroll in the same kind of flexible spending account next year, then you're allowed to carry forward $610 from this year into the next. So one of the hesitations that a lot of employees have about doing flexible spending is they're typically use or lose. And so people say, I don't want to put any money in there because I don't want to end up losing anything at the end of the year. These go away on the day that you leave the federal government. So when you retire or when you resign, any money that's in there on that date is forfeited. If you aren't planning to leave the federal government, though, you're not at risk of losing anything if you put in $610, because you can roll forward $610 from this year to the next one. So anything over that, if you didn't spend it, would be forfeited. But that just means you need to pay attention. And that just means that maybe you don't max it out, right? You put something in there. Maybe you put in $1,000. Maybe you put in $610, so you don't have to risk losing anything. But I do want to mention that these can be a very good way for you to save some money on income taxes only while you're working. It does require annual re-enrollment. You will have to sign up by Monday if you are interested in doing this. They aren't available in retirement. The federal employees' long-term care insurance does not participate in the annual open season. I said at the beginning I wanted to mention it because applications for this program are being suspended as of the 19th of December. The Office of Personnel Management is concerned with price increases. That does not mean that the insurance company is doing anything wrong. It means that insurance companies are not medical professionals. And as recently as 10 years ago, unless you worked in a medical setting, you probably didn't even know what long-term care insurance was. So as the insurance companies started offering it, they didn't know how to set the prices appropriately. We've seen a couple of, I would say, pretty large increases in premiums for the long-term care insurance over the years that it's been available within the federal government, but that's true of private sector insurance companies as well. So the Office of Personnel Management is going to be suspending the applications effective December 19th. They say that they will be suspended up to 24 months. They could change that at any time. It could be shorter, it could be longer, but that's what we're looking at right now. I did do a post earlier this week because somebody asked me, oh my gosh, if this is being suspended, do I need to go sign up for it right away? And I want to reiterate my answer here. If you're interested in long-term care insurance, if you were contemplating getting it through the federal government, then yes, maybe you want to quickly do some research and apply for a plan prior to the 19th of December when the applications are going to be suspended. If you are approved for a plan, even after that application is suspended, then you're in the program. You would continue to have it. They're just not going to let anyone else sign up for it after the 19th of December until they do a full review of the program, and then the Office of Personnel Management will decide when it's coming back, if there's going to be a different insurance company potentially that is overseeing that and everything else. So this one is kind of in flux. If you weren't interested in long-term care insurance, there is no reason for you to worry about missing out and rush out there and sign up for something that you don't even know if you want, and you definitely haven't taken the time to become an informed consumer. So if you're interested in it, now's the time. If you're not interested in it, okay, just be aware that if you would like to get it down the road, it may be available through the federal government, it may not be. You might just end up going with a private insurance company to get your long-term care insurance, which you've always had the ability to do anyway. So I mentioned that on this slide. I wanted to give you some resources where you can go and do some comparisons between the various insurances and also sign up if that's something that you want to do. So the very top one is a comparison tool at the Office of Personnel Management's website. You can compare all of the different health insurance plans. You type in your zip code, you can look at specific types of plans, and there are hyperlinks there for each of the program booklets. If you see something that's interesting, you can do a little bit more research for yourself right there. To make changes to your health insurance, if you're still working, you would do that through your federal agency. If you have already retired, you will do that through the Office of Personnel Management. The next website that I've given you is bennyfeds.com. That's where you can compare the dental and vision insurance plans. That is also where you can sign up if you're interested in doing the dental or the vision insurance. Available not only to our federal employees and federal retirees, their family members, but also members of the military. The next one is FSAFeds.com. Lots of really great information if you need to educate yourself about what those flexible spending accounts will do for you, whether you're eligible to enroll, what kind of expenses they will cover, and if you want to sign up, you do that right there at FSAFeds.com. The next one under that is for the long-term care insurance. If you want to research that, or if you want to sign up, you would do that at LTC, which is long-term care, feds.com. The other thing that I wanted to mention, and you see the website here, is back in October, I went to Washington, D.C., and I sat on a federal benefits summit with WAPA, which is an insurance company. They provide life insurance products to federal employees. But in the federal summit, we didn't talk about life insurance as far as selling anything. We talked about all of the federal insurances. That summit is an hour, so it would take a little bit of time for you to watch through it. There were 3 of us talking about the various insurances within the federal government and different things that are potentially impacting federal employees. So I wanted to mention it to you if you're interested. They have that on their YouTube channel. It's not on mine, but you can simply type in the address and you can go and watch that Federal Benefits Summit, maybe get a little bit more information if that's something that you feel that you would like to do. As always, you can reach out to me at any time. If you're watching on Facebook, you can simply drop a comment in there, or you can send me a personal message. If you're watching it on YouTube, again, you can drop a comment in, which will send me an email, or you can go to my website, which is pinnaclepersonnelservices.com, click on the tab that says Contact Me. It's going to open an email form and you can just send me an email. I'm happy to answer. I am doing a lot of training closing out this year, actually flying on Monday. I'll be teaching for USERPAC on Monday, flying on Friday, teaching for USERPAC on Monday, flying back Monday night into Tuesday. So I may be a little bit out of sorts the beginning of next week just because of all of the travel and the teaching. But short of that, happy to answer any questions. Always happy for suggestions about things to talk about. I do know that I have one to catch up on. Someone asked me to do a video on TSP withdrawal options. That's going to be my very next video. I thought I would probably do that this week, but I feel like with open season coming to an end on Monday, this was probably the best use of my time and the most important thing to talk about. Let me know how I can help you. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I'd love to have your feedback. If you found it helpful, let me know. If you found it lacking and you wanted me to add something else, let me know that too as well. Okay? Thank you so much.